On August 16, 1977, news spread rapidly across television and radio stations. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was dead. Millions of fans around the world were left in disbelief. His death marked the end of an era, but his story had begun decades earlier in a small town where no one could have imagined the legacy he would leave behind. This is the story of Elvis Presley. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi. He was born in a small two-room house built by his father, Vernon Presley. His mother, Gladys Presley, shared an incredibly close bond with her only surviving son. Elvis actually had a twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley, who was stillborn shortly before Elvis was born. Growing up as an only child deeply affected him, and his mother became the most important person in his life. The Presley family struggled financially. Despite having very little money, Elvis was raised in a loving home where faith and music played central roles. Every Sunday, the family attended church. It was there that young Elvis first fell in love with gospel music. The powerful voices, emotional performances, and passionate atmosphere would influence him for the rest of his life. Outside church, he listened to blues, country, and rhythm and blues music played throughout Mississippi. These different musical styles blended together in his mind and would later help create a completely new sound. On his 11th birthday, Elvis hoped for a bicycle. Instead, his parents bought him a guitar because it was more affordable. At first, he was disappointed, but that simple guitar would change music history forever. He practiced constantly. Friends and family noticed his growing talent. Although shy by nature, Elvis enjoyed singing at church gatherings and school events. In 1948, the Presley family moved to Memphis, Tennessee, hoping for better opportunities. After graduating from high school in 1953, Elvis worked several ordinary jobs, including driving a delivery truck. He still dreamed of becoming a singer. One day, he walked into Sun's studio in Memphis to record a song as a gift for his mother. Studio owner Sam Phillips immediately noticed something different about the young singer. Months later, Phillips invited Elvis back for another recording session. During a break, Elvis casually began singing the blues song, "That's All Right." It combined country music with rhythm and blues in a completely fresh way. Sam Phillips realized he had discovered something extraordinary. Local radio stations began playing the recording. Listeners flooded the station with phone calls asking who the new singer was. Within days, Elvis Presley had become a local sensation. His energetic performances, unique voice, and charismatic stage presence attracted enormous attention. As his popularity grew, so did controversy. Some adults criticized his energetic dancing and stage movements, considering them too provocative for television audiences. But younger fans loved his confidence and excitement. Teenagers screamed at his concerts. Record sales skyrocketed. In 1955, Elvis signed a contract with RCA Victor. The following year, everything changed. His song "Heartbreak Hotel" became his first national #1 hit. Soon afterward came "Blue Suede Shoes," "Hound Dog," "Don't Be Cruel," and many more chart-topping songs. Elvis was no longer simply a singer. He had become a cultural phenomenon. Television appearances attracted enormous audiences. His appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show became one of the most watched television broadcasts in American history. Fans copied his hairstyle, clothing, and attitude. For the first time, rock and roll had a global superstar. His influence reached far beyond music. Fashion, dance, and youth culture were changing. Elvis Presley stood at the center of that transformation. By the end of the 1950s, he had become one of the most famous people. Yet the greatest challenges of his life were still ahead. In December 1957, just as Elvis Presley stood at the peak of his career, the United States Army came calling. Unlike many celebrities of the era, Elvis was drafted into military service. Some believed his music career was over. Fans feared that 2 years away from the spotlight would end his reign as the king of rock and roll. On March 24, 1958, Elvis officially entered the U.S. Army. Rather than accepting a special role to entertain troops, he chose to serve as a regular soldier. Later that year, Elvis was stationed in West Germany. In 1959, he met a 14-year-old girl named Priscilla Presley, whose father was serving in the U.S. Air Force. Although Elvis was 10 years older, they developed a close friendship that eventually grew into a romantic relationship over the following years. While Elvis was overseas, tragedy struck. His beloved mother, Gladys Presley, died on August 14, 1958, at the age of just 46. Her death devastated him. Friends and family said Elvis was never quite the same afterward. Many believe losing his mother was one of the defining emotional moments of his life. When Elvis returned to the United States in 1960, fans welcomed him back as a hero. His music career resumed almost immediately. Songs like It's Now or Never and Are You Lonesome Tonight became massive international hits. Hollywood also came calling. Elvis quickly became one of the highest-paid movie stars of the 1960s. He appeared in films such as Blue Hawaii, Viva Las Vegas, Girls, 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 Fun in Acapulco, and many others. Although these movies were commercially successful, critics often dismissed them as repetitive musicals. Elvis himself reportedly became frustrated. He wanted more serious acting roles, but his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, believed audiences preferred lighthearted musicals that guaranteed strong box office returns. As the years passed, Elvis's film career became increasingly predictable. Meanwhile, popular music was changing. Bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were transforming rock music. For the first time since becoming famous, Elvis risked being left behind. Then came one of the greatest comebacks in entertainment history. In 1968, NBC aired what became known as the '68 Comeback Special. Dressed in black leather and performing live with extraordinary energy, Elvis reminded the world why he had become a legend. The television special was a tremendous success. Critics praised his voice, confidence, and stage presence. Fans celebrated the return of the king. The comeback completely revitalized his career. Soon afterward, Elvis began performing regularly in Las Vegas. His concerts became legendary. Wearing elaborate jumpsuits decorated with rhinestones and capes, he entertained thousands of fans night after night. His powerful voice remained unmistakable. Songs such as Suspicious Minds, Burning Love, The Wonder of You, and American Trilogy became highlights of his live performances. In 1967, Elvis married Priscilla Presley in Las Vegas. The following year, they welcomed their daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. For a time, family life appeared to bring Elvis happiness. However, constant touring, demanding schedules, and personal challenges placed increasing strain on the marriage. The couple divorced in 1973 but remained on good terms while co-parenting their daughter. Behind the scenes, Elvis's health was beginning to decline. Years of demanding performances, poor eating habits, lack of sleep, and heavy reliance on prescription medications affected both his physical and mental well-being. Medical experts have since suggested that multiple health conditions, including high blood pressure, heart disease, digestive disorders, and other chronic illnesses, contributed to his declining health. Despite these challenges, Elvis refused to stop performing. He remained committed to entertaining his fans, even when his health made concerts increasingly difficult. On August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley was found unresponsive at his home, Graceland, in Memphis, Tennessee. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. He was only 42 years old. The official investigation concluded that he died from cardiac arrest associated with underlying heart disease. Medical experts have also noted that long-term prescription medication use was an important contributing factor in his declining health. News of his death spread around the globe within hours. Thousands of grieving fans gathered outside Graceland. The world had lost one of its greatest entertainers. More than 100,000 people visited Graceland during the days following his death to pay their respects. Today, Graceland remains one of the most visited private homes in the United States. More than 4 decades after his passing, Elvis Presley remains known simply as the King. From a small 2-room house in Mississippi to becoming one of the most recognizable people in history, Elvis Presley proved that dreams can become reality. And while the King may have left the stage, his music and his legacy will never truly leave the world.